I think one big change for marketeers over the recent few years, if I could call it, has been just the impact on business itself. We are now a very strong demographic, which is, while rooted in India, eyes around the world in terms of keeping pace. Ever since offices have opened up, we've seen amazing growth in workwear, but now there is a casualization of workwear that's come through.
Hello and welcome to etbrandequity.com. Today we have with us a marketer who has led marketing for the consumer tech space, for FMCG space in the past, but is now one of the newest members of Myntra family. Please welcome Sunder Balasubramanian. Hi Sunder, thank you for joining us today.
Hi Sohini, thank you for talking to Myntra today.
So, it's been slightly over 3 months for you at the company. How has it been like?
It's been both exciting and interesting journey for me so far. It's a completely new industry. The fashion industry is new for me. So I've been spending my time kind of diving deep and understanding that a lot more. Uh, Fascinating from a point of view that fashion as an industry has so much scale in this country, but also there is so much of uniqueness that every single consumer has a different take to what fashion means to them and what style means to them. So just kind of understanding that and building my perspective on that is really what I've been up to for the last few months.
Role of CMO has been changing, right? How have you seen your role change according to the changing times?
Well, I think that pace of change that you refer to is not specific to only an industry or only to a specific designation. If kind of zoom back to overall marketing, uh, I think just the level of change that any marketeer in this country would have seen uh, is changing at a rapid pace, right? Uh, some things continue to hold to their core. Being central or keeping the consumer central to everything you do, understanding their needs, wants, triggers, barriers will always be steady, right? That does not change. What changes are the hows and the whys beyond that. I think one big change for marketeers over the recent few years, if I could call it, has been just the impact on business itself and how integrated marketing goes along with the business side of things. Second, the role of marketing. Historically, it would be marketing and sales being a connect. But today's day and age and the businesses that we are in, marketing connects with sales, connects with business development teams, connects with technology teams, connects with the service teams. So it is a completely integrated piece because in the end of the day, you're a custodian of a brand and a brand gets delivered through this ecosystem or through the village that raises it, so to speak. The largest change has just been fluidity. I think marketeers everywhere today need to be fluid in their approach and quickly react and change and be agile. And that fluidity is between zooming in and zooming out of issues. It's about doing things that are both short term and long term. If you get very functional, the amazing debate that we have between brand building and performance marketing and how both of them work in different contexts. So I think that fluidity is the other big change. And yes, I think all of us are in the journey of embracing these.
Transitioning from a space as different as a consumer tech or an FMCG in the past, do you bring along certain principles from that space into the retail space that you are in now?
I think the fundamental brand building principles hold good all the way through. So being core to the consumer, understanding their needs and wants will always remain true. One specific example, if you look at it, is our recent campaign that we've just put out called "Be Extraordinary Every Day." It came out of us talking to consumers, different cohorts across the country, and a simple insight coming out that I don't want to look stylish only on those special occasions. Now I want to look my stylish best every day. So, under getting those insights is something that would have always been done. But how do you really kind of unpeel it and make it contextual to your target audience today will always be there, and that's what that campaign is one example of that for Myntra.
What are some of the other initiatives that Myntra has been looking forward to?
I think Myntra, the beauty is as we've grown over the years, what we've kind of honed is a very special skill to continuously evolve and be more and more engaged with both our users and customers. As we do this, I think our basic tenets are from a selection perspective, give a unparalleled scale of selection to consumers in the country, provide it at the price points they want, provide them a right technology backed shopping experience, right? When they come onto our platform, how do they discover different products and styles? In the end of the day, we have over 1.7 million styles. We have over 6,000 brands. How does that make sense for me as a customer when I come onto the platform is a very, very strong piece that the tech team works on. Through the whole shopping experience, when I look at something, is the size and fit something that works for me? And we have technology services that allow us to kind of help consumers make those choices. On the beauty side that we've recently done, we've added features like skin analyzer. We've added features like product finder, which again enable you to find and discover things that are most suitable and personalized to you. Post purchase, again, providing them the kind of service they need in terms of delivery, in terms of hassle free returns, that experience and making that more and more effective, efficient, and customized is what the Myntra brand is all about. What we are looking to do is continually take that forward. What you will see, for example, in the coming days is if you look at certain trends that are very important. One example is really international brands. Consumers in the country being as progressive as they want, as hungry for modernity as they want. They are looking at the latest styles and brands across the world, and how do we enable that for them? That's one key part that we will continue to do more on. Second is, of course, Gen Z. They are a consumer cohort completely different from most of the cohorts that we've seen in the past. How do you make sure that be extremely agile in their requirements, because their share of attention, their share of time is extremely difficult to get before you can get their share of wallet. So how do we, again, both from a selection perspective, brand perspective, cater to them is important. We do a lot of our work there also on the social commerce side, because for the Gen Zs, that's very important. Their port of call when they look for trust indicators or authenticity indicators are influencers and people who they have qualified as people who are important to them. So our social commerce side is a very, very strong program, both across the live and static perspective. We have influencers who come on and who help different cohorts of consumers kind of aid them in the shopping process itself by talking about brands, by talking about styles, and so on.
Very interesting points you mentioned, one of which was about consumer choices across the world. What I have been reading up and listening is about the increased consumer demand for international labels on the platform, right? What do you think has triggered the same, and how do you plan to tap into that demand?
I think it's been a demand that's been growing over the years. And if you step back into Indian consumers overall, right? I think we are now a very strong demographic, which is, while rooted in India, eyes are on the world in terms of keeping pace, right? What the world is again changed. It's not just a Western view, it is a view that encompasses all parts of the globe today. And what I think consumers seek from there is the latest styles and the latest brands. And that's one part of it, which comes, which is a very basic need. The second part of it, which I think is more intrinsic, is what fashion means from a self-expression point of view. And that's an identity perspective. And if there are styles and trends and brands that help people demonstrate their identity better, that's also another place where international brands come in. For us as a platform, we've, I think, had over 400 international brands over the years. Last year, we, I think, launched over 25 of them on the fashion and apparel side. On the beauty side, we've launched over 50 of them. So that continues to be area of focus for us, as much as D2C brands and domestic brands, which also have their own cohorts that who look for them.
Is it just the tier one cities or the tier two cities are showing equal levels of demand for international labels?
It's very broad based, to be honest, right? Both across the metros, or if you extend it to tier two markets, we see demand for them all across. Uh, if you kind of take a subsect of this demand, which is the Gen Z cohort, irrespective of where they are that cohort, right? And they look for these markers, whether it be trend, whether it be identity, etc. So for us, it's broad based. Overall, as a platform, if you look at us, we get over 45% of our customers from tier two and tier three markets. So for us, it is a very broad-based sense of demand that we see.